Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there. Hello, kids, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Tales. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, man, waiting for a meltdown. It is
Justin the L, getting the armor back on to talk about some classic Iron Man.
That's right. This is going to start a month of Justin picks for my birthday.
For Phil's birthday month. Happy birthday, Phil.
So if you're listening a year ago, yes, we're going to keep going on from that Iron Man episode.
That's right.
Yes.
We're picking up where we left off from last year.
This time we're going to cover 285 through 289.
Another string of classics, I've got to say. I did pretty good again this year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not to toot my own horn, but, you know.
I mean, Len Kaminsky Iron Man, that's always a good time.
Yeah, this is prime Iron Man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Tony's barely even in this stuff. As we'll see. Not to spoil anything.
Just a couple little appearances in his own head, so.
He's dealing with a whole other mess of stuff. And that's another thing I loved about this era, was that you had both Jim and Tony going through their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In the Iron Man title. They didn't have their own separate titles yet.
Oh, yeah, no.
They were sharing the spotlight here. It was great. It was a harkening back to the 80s.
That War Machine stuff will spin out of, toward like the end of this arc. Maybe after the next issue or two after it. But yeah, it'll see. Yeah. That's another series we got to cover. Some of that early War Machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I am in full agreement. Yeah. Remember when we covered some of that, during the crapping, we had some War Machine stuff in there. That was stuff that I had never read before when he had that alien armor.
Yeah.
And I thought that was intriguing. I thought, this is different. I want to read more of this.
I mean, I don't think it would be that much to do that whole, I think that whole series, maybe 20-some issues, maybe?
Oh, is that all? Is that it?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think it went past 30.
Well, we could do a whole month of War Machine. Crank it.
Cranking the hog.
Cranking the hog.
Yeah, cause it probably didn't last much. Because I don't know if they started around the same time or not. Because I know Thunderstrike only lasted like 24 issues.
That's true. No, you're right. Yeah.
That's about the time they were like chopping the line in half. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember for a while. Like in the back of some of these issues, you can see floppies. You can see the subscription pages of all the different titles that Marvel was publishing monthly at this time. And it's staggering. It's amazing how many they were putting out a month sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Just the list just goes on and on and on. I'm like, wow.
Okay, so yeah, War Machine made it to 25 issues. So.
Okay. Yeah, well, I would love to cover that. I think all of that is on the app, isn't it?
I'm looking at it. No, there's a big gap. It goes to issue 9, or no, 10. It goes from 10, if the first 10 issues, to issue 20, 315.
All right.
So,
well,
there's a gap. There's a gap, but it's not the crapping.
Go figure.
I know.
Go figure. Yeah, and this is some more Len Kaminsky script for this stuff. Yeah, definitely. I'd love to cover it. I'm going to see if I can find the floppies of these at some point this year.
Yeah, I was going to say, I should try to fill. I think I only have a few gaps in that, not a ton in that series. That's what I should look for.
Nice.
So anytime I go to look for back issues anymore, I'm like, what do I need?
Gotta update the list. Update the list.
Well, and the sad part is I have an app where I have that CLZ app.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Keeps track of it for you.
Right. True.
Or CLZ, as some people
CLZ, that's right.
All right. We're going to get into these. We got 5 issues here.
Here we go.
All right. And again, some good covers, including a foil cover.
We got one foil cover here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. We go.
The first of 3 in a row.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Up to issue 300.
No, yeah. We need to make this an annual tradition because I want to get to it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love 300.
Yeah.
I love all these, but 300 is the crown, definitely.
Yeah, it's like 288, 290, and then 300 are all foils. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They were on a roll with those foil covers for a while.
Oh yeah,
but this was the 30th anniversary. If that's what was the occasion for this one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Iron Man 285 from October 1992. Ashes to Ashes. Writer Len Kaminsky, penciler Kevin Hopgood, inker Andrew Papoy, colorist Mike Rockwitz, letterer Chris Iliopoulos, and editor Nelson Yomtov. Rhodey scatters what he thinks are Tony's ashes. At a reception following the event, Kathy Dare tries to apologize to him, but he angrily blames her for Tony's death and drives her away. Spymaster, Beetle, Blizzard, and Backlash. Boys, someone's out of place. Beetle, Blizzard, Backlash, Spymaster. What are these things are not like the other? Tries to sneak into Stark Enterprises using a news helicopter, then remotely crash it into the reception as a distraction before attacking the facility in order to tap into Stark's computers to steal company secret files. Rhodey becomes Iron Man and battles the 4 villains, swiftly defeating them. However, 4 of the Avengers arrive on the scene and immediately assume that he is behind the attacks, as they are aware he cannot be Tony inside the armor. And there's the hole in the plot.
Well,
Tony Stark's dead. There can't possibly be another Iron Man, even though one of the founding members of the West Coast Avengers was.
And Rhodey. They knew this.
I know. I'm like, if none of the other 4, I'm like, Hawkeye has worked with Rhodey as Iron Man. They founded the West Coast Avengers together.
Exactly. And they had already encountered another dude that they had questioned about being a new Iron Man a year or so prior to this, when U.S. Agent joined the team, and all of a sudden he came back with the gold and red armor, and they're like, who are you supposed to be? So,
I mean, no offense, but it's a suit of armor. Pretty much anybody can be in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a little bonkers.
If Tony had actually died, he did have a contingency plan. It's like, Rhodey.
Yeah.
It should have been, and the Avengers should have been like, okay, you better be James Rhodes in there.
Yeah, exactly. Because all the villains were unconscious, so it wasn't an issue of them spoiling his secret identity by saying it out loud.
Or Hawkeye could have been like, tell me something. The guy who was one of the
original
Avengers would know.
Yeah, that would have taken all of 2 minutes to do that. It would save them this whole. Well, we have to have a supervillain, a superhero throwdown every so often.
It is the 90s, yeah.
It is the 90s, and they had to show off how badass this armor was. Remember?
Yeah. Should have been like, tell me something only that guy would know. The blank is a bitch. Okay, it's you. Oh God. I mean, Rhodey, we'll get to it later this year, kids, but Rhodey was the Iron Man during Secret War.
Yes.
The original Secret Wars.
Yeah, he was there. He saw it all.
Everyone knew Tony was drinking himself into the gutter. And they knew that wasn't him on Battle World.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Jeez. It's so
Again,
weird.
I like these issues, but that's my only problem, really. It's just like...
plot hole, yeah.
The Avengers.
They could have had something like... I don't know, Spymaster does some weird wonky thing on the Avengers when they show up, and it makes them I don't know, not like a mind control thing, but like a perception thing where they think that he's a villain or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or some hologram, something.
Some hologram, some gizmo, before he knocks him out, he slips some gizmo on him that makes him look like the Crimson Dynamo or the Titanium Man or something, and the Avengers show up and what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
That type of thing. That would have made a lot more sense.
Because besides the gray color, this looks like an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, exactly. How could you mistake that? Especially when you're veteran Avengers like that.
Especially when
there's Living Lightning, I could get it, but the Wasp and Hank Pym.
And there's 4 villains laying unconscious at his feet. Oh, I wonder.
Yeah. Yeah, what a coincidence. Remarkable. Yeah, that part's bonkers. Yeah, but I loved the villain fight. I loved basically how easy it was. He grabs a hold of the Beetle and just hurls the dude into
that is the
Blizzard and Backlash.
Yeah, that is the funniest thing when they're like, "Oh, we've been studying all of Iron Man's moves." Meanwhile, whoa, it's a different Iron Man.
Yeah. And Blacklash is like, right flank, Blizzard. He can't stand against both of us. And Rhodey's like, you've got to be kidding. He just hurls him at him.
I know, that's great. When he first shows up, and the Beetle's like, he'll go for his repulsars first, and Rhodey's like, sinks in.
Just grabs him in the chest and throws him. But then Spymaster hits him with the EMP whammy. And that was, I was like, ooh, I wasn't expecting to see that coming. That's nice. But then Rhodey does this is the best part of the whole issue. When he just stands up in that 300-pound suit and punches the dude right in the face and lays him out.
That's the other thing, too. Tony wouldn't have been strong enough to do that, but Rhodey could. So, yeah, that's the other surprise, because Spymaster's like, wait a minute, you've never been able to.
Guess again. Yeah, I love that. That was, to me, that was my favorite part of the issue. When he just stands up and just lays him out.
But yeah, I mean, but after that whole helicopter crash, when Rhodey has to run through the flames just to get to the armor.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I guess we do get Tony's little walk down memory lane while he's frozen.
True, and we see, oh God, what's her face again? The woman that shot.
Oh, Kathy Dare. Yeah,
Kathy Dare. Yeah, I'd forgotten about Kathy Dare.
Well, she's like, oh yeah, her therapist or whatever said, it'd be good to face what she did, but I'm like, I mean, do you honestly think anyone was going to greet you with a smile and a handshake here?
Yeah, exactly.
You shot their employer, their friend. It's like,
like she had a contributing hand in his death, because that whole bullet to his spine was the catalyst that led to his health issues in the first place.
So the Mars twins, because they get that chip in there, but it's like that almost killed him just on its own. Just the bullet.
Yeah.
But so I guess he never realized. But the whole thing with Tony, it's like I guess he never realized his father was an alcoholic.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that too, Phil. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like,
there was this whole recollection at the dinner table.
Yeah, because he was like, he's like, oh God, he's like, I thought I was the first Stark that ever succumbed to alcoholism. He's like, but no, I guess it was baked into my genes, I guess.
Yeah, I learned it by watching you, Dad.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't think that had ever been addressed before.
Yeah, no, I don't think.
And there hadn't really been a lot about his dad or his parents addressed before either.
Before like this era, I don't think they really got into the parents a ton.
No. This was, as far as I remember, this was fresh ground.
Yeah,
and it needed to be explored. It made total sense to me that this would have been, and in some of the flashbacks we'll see in the next couple of issues, the even more important stuff with the symbolism behind the armor and all the iron stuff. Like it's really heavy, but it's excellently done.
Oh, and then at the end, after he lays out the villains, 4 of the West Coast Avengers show up: Hawkeye, Living Lightning, Hank Pym, and the Wasp. But I'm just like, shouldn't Hank Pym and the Wasp have been like, wait a minute, there could be somebody could be in that suit, or it could be Rhodey.
That's what I'm talking about. They're like the veteran Avengers of the group. Like they should know.
Hank and Jan are founding members. Yes.
Yeah, they should know. Okay, this looks like a new Iron Man armor. We've seen about a dozen of these already. Let's just ask him, are you a new Iron Man stand-in for Tony, or like what's going on? Who are you? Or they could do it in some, like you were saying, some secret code thing. Like tell us something that only the last Iron Man would know.
Or it's like Hawkeye knew he was Iron Man before. If he should have just been like, if he didn't want to reveal it to everyone, like Hawkeye, come here, open up that helmet and be like, it's me,
Yeah. Just take him aside for a second. Be like,
I just don't know how that wasn't the logical leap. It's just Rhodey has filled in for him before, so.
I could see if they were all rookies. Like
Yeah, because Living Lightning did it.
Living Lightning would.
Living Lightning's like, how do we know this isn't? I think Living Lightning even says, well, maybe next issue. How do we know this isn't the real Iron Man?
Right? Yeah. And the second Spider Woman was on the team at that time, so like they could have had a group of them show up.
I think the rest of them were busy in the West Coast Avengers book.
Right. Yeah, doing something else. And that would have made a lot more sense to me. But these veteran Avengers, Hank Pym and the Wasp, no way. They would have...
Should as Hawkeye's ready to attack, if he doesn't figure it out, shouldn't Hank Pym be like, whoa, Hawkeye, you've worn my costumes before. No.
Right.
Let's take a moment
here. Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny.
So that's the big cliffhanger there is the tease of that play.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, my biggest question is, where did those ashes come from?
I know. Whose ashes were those?
I hope that's just someone's fireplace ashes and not like, hey, we someone's ashes.
Yeah. Go to some random mortuary. Here, we'll slip you $5 million for those ashes. We need them. Don't ask what for.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, like all good covers on these.
Yeah, these are great covers.
Yeah, look at that.
Love it.
All right, so we got
different inker this time.
Oh yeah, let me. All right, so Iron Man 286 from November 1992. Dust to Dust. So first one was Ashes to Ashes. This one's Dust to Dust.
Yeah.
Writer Len Kaminsky, penciler Kevin Hopgood. Is it a different inker? I mean, here on this summary, it
was Mike DiCarlo in the floppy.
Okay, on the
Andrew Pepboy in the last one.
Yeah, because on the summary here on the website, it's saying Pepboy still, so they got it wrong.
Oops.
Yeah, colors Mike Rockwitz.
Mike
so everyone else is the same, but the Avengers refuse to trust Iron Man. Okay.
Yeah. That's an understatement. Yeah.
I know. Pym shrinks him into miniature size and they attack him. When Spymaster and the other villains revive, they attack the Avengers, but Iron Man convinces the Wasp to trust him and restores him to normal size. As the fight rages nearby, Kathy Dare shoots herself in the head and dies. Pym quickly defeats the villains by shrinking them and Kathy's body is taken away. Later, Ray invites Rhodey out for dinner. Zimmer and Sondheim continue to monitor Tony's condition. Morgan Stark reacts to Tony's death and vows to finally have revenge on his cousin. Oh yeah, I forgot about the evil cousin. I was like, oh yeah. Age of the evil cousin, Morgan Stark.
That's right. Yeah.
Just coming out of the woodwork. Basically just looks like a chubbier version of Tony.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. He's had the Big Mac diet.
I think I don't know if part of that was intentional though, is like because his similarity a little bit to Tony, because the last issue we're going to be covering tonight, because people were having sightings of Tony Stark, and I don't know if people were supposed to think, oh yeah, it's just Morgan, but it wasn't Morgan.
Mm-hmm. Another red herring.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh geez, page 1, Hawkeye moving. I'll blow your butt to Peoria.
It's crazy.
But again, I mean, Rhodey's not fighting him. He's like, hey guys, let's be cool here.
Yeah, and then they shrink him. Yeah, they shrink him down to miniature size with the Pym particles. It's like, oh my word.
I mean, this is so funny because the beginning of at the reception in the last issue, that everyone's like, oh man, the Avengers can't even be bothered to show up.
Yeah, to Tony's funeral.
Yeah.
Well, they should have known. Like, the Avengers are busy. Like, they have a lot of stuff going on.
Real funny if Rhodey's would have been like, you guys are the ones late for the funeral.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe it's maybe they threw it off. He threw the Avengers off because they didn't maybe think it was Rhodey, because he said something like, he goes, the armor may be new, but they still call me Iron Man. So unless they were just like, wait a minute, he's trying to pretend to be the original Iron Man, and
he's an imposter.
Yeah. Maybe they were like, oh, at least Hawkeye was like, Rhodey would know, I would know who he is. So maybe they are thinking it's an imposter. I don't know.
Yeah, some super villain that's taken the mantle. Yeah,
Hawkeye, right. Avengers, disassemble.
Yeah, I forgot how cool the Living Lightning was. It was a
Yeah.
cool character. Yeah. He was a cool addition for the West Coast Adventures, I thought.
Oh yeah, we'll have to cover some of that, especially his first appearance. He fights the
Definitely.
original
Human
Human
Torch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some fantastic Paul Ryan artwork in that.
Oh yeah.
Great stuff.
I love Pym comes over. He's like, yeah, hey, no hard feelings, and he hits him with the Pym particles.
Yeah.
Oh.
He throws some change at him. He says, I think it's time to do my impression of the federal government and throw big money at the problem. And he hurls a bunch of coins at Rhodey. Oh, it is great. This fight, I mean, it's silly that it happened in the first place, but it's great regardless.
I know. I love when they blow him out of the building and he lands in that garbage can. And he's poured himself out all small. He goes, I'm beginning to understand how Tony ended up with a drinking problem.
Yeah. And I love how when he's miniature sized like that, you can see the word bubble, but you can't. There's no way that you can see what he's saying because he's so tiny.
And he's still zapping like Hawkeye and Hank Pym with his repulsors.
Yeah. And hurling those guys around by the foot. He grabs Blizzard by the foot and just hurls him around and uses him to knock out the other supervillains. It's so funny.
Yeah, because the villains wake up. Yeah, and Blacklash hits Hank from behind, and then now everyone's willing to reason with talk to Rhodey, especially when they hit the wasp and he catches her in midair.
Yeah,
because he's like her size at this point,
right? And I like that part too. How she said Hank's better at getting Pym particles to jump through hoops than I am, but I think I can manage there. And yeah, I was happy to see the supervillains come back because I thought they were taken out so easily in the previous issue. I was like, that's it. Damn. But
yeah, that is great.
He came back for another ass kicking in this one.
I know, that's so funny. When Wasp gets him back to regular size and just he walks over to Spymaster's in the middle of the sentence. And once we dispose of these meddling Avengers, and Rhodey's like, hey, I thought I told you to shut up. And
punches him. Lays him right out.
And that's when Kathy Dare shoots herself.
And I've forgotten about that too, Phil, to be honest with you. And I remember at the time when I was reading this and that came out, because I'd been following that whole story, I thought that was kind of a disappointing ending for her. To have her. And I mean, it was revealed that she shouldn't have been prescribed Prozac in the first place because she was bipolar or something like that. And so, that was, at least it was explained why she did what she felt she had to do, but I just thought it was a disappointing wrap up to her story. I felt like there was some more stories that could have been told with Kathy Dare.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of get it though. I mean, I guess she sees she's now that she's somewhat better in the head thanks to the drugs, and she saw the consequences of what she helped bring about. Tony's dead, and
the guilt was too much for her to bear, or something. But I don't. I remember feeling disappointed the first time I read that.
Yeah, back
in '92 or whatever, thinking, "Geez, that seems rather sudden to finish off that story with her." Yeah.
But everybody just stops, the Avengers, the villains. But yeah, Rhodey comes over and he's just Rhodey's feeling guilty. He's like, "Do I part of this?" He's like, "Yeah," because they did exchange some, harsh words.
Yeah.
But he's like, "I had no love for this woman, but nobody deserves to die like that."
Right. Yeah. But he does have a hot date afterwards, so that takes his mind off of things for a little bit.
After a brief glimpse of someone who looks like Tony. Oh Lord. But yeah, Hank Pym comes over because Rhodey goes, "What happened to the bad guys?" He has them in a bag. I decided,
Ziploc bag. Yeah,
decided to bag them, though I doubt they'll ever be worth anything.
Yeah, it's so funny.
So yeah, they take Kathy's body away, and then he meets with Ray.
Yeah, and then we get so much stuff with Tony and his past. And his flashbacks to his dad. And then we get this, I love this part here, Phil, where Tony starts building his first little toy Iron Man out of a bunch of scrap metal and stuff. He just kind of pieces it together. And it's like the first glimpse into the mind of the adolescent Tony Stark when he was trying to create some type of sense of security for himself against his abusive alcoholic dad.
Oh yeah, because he's basic. It's powerful. It's emotionless, indestructible. You can't hurt me. I'm made of iron. So yeah.
His dad wanted him to be like the shrewd, cold, calculating, savvy businessman.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony wanted to make stuff. Like he had an inquisitive, imaginative mind and was very creative and wanted to build stuff and come up with innovations that could improve people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
But his dad was like, "No, you're going to follow in my footsteps, son. Blah, 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 blah. Alpha male bullshit, blah, blah, blah."
Well, I mean, you see these fits of rage when he's like drinking and stuff.
Yeah, when they're playing Monopoly.
Yeah.
Like just all of a sudden he just flies into a rage and just flips the table and sends the pieces flying all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Just out of nowhere. Yeah, it's crazy. I love it though, because this is the first time we've seen this type of stuff.
Oh yeah,
in Iron Man, like they did some heavy lifting with this origin of Tony stuff, and I love it.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember. I don't think they got into the parent stuff before, but after this, they'd start more and more. But
totally, yeah, they mined that deep. But this is the first foray into that stuff, and I think it's held up extremely well.
Because like Demon in a Bottle or like all the Denny O'Neil stuff when Tony was drinking and Rhodey replaced him the first time, I don't think they ever got into the parents or anything.
No, not that I remember. Maybe it was mentioned briefly, but I don't think it was. We never saw flashbacks like this.
Oh
no.
And then the end of the issue is basically just Morgan Stark like threatening an empty room, like, "Oh, everything Tony had will be mine."
Wait till they get a load of me.
Exactly. Pretty much.
Batman, my favorite character.
That's the look he's got.
Sitting there in the dark. He puts a picture of Tony in the newspaper.
Oh, it's so funny.
I'll get revenge on you. I'll put a hole in my own desk.
That's right. I'll show you.
All right. We're ready for the next one and a new villain.
A new villain. Love this guy too.
Oh yeah. And I don't think anyone ever got back to this guy, did they?
I don't think so either. I'm gonna look it up though, because I'm curious.
I'm like, bring this guy back, even as an Iron Man villain.
He's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, look at that cover. That's great. That was great stuff.
All right. We got open up. All right. Iron Man number 287 from December 1992. Meltdown. Writer Len Kaminsky. Okay. They credit Mike DiCarlo for inker this time. Okay. And everyone else, it looks like the same. But yes, they actually finally started crediting. So I can't remember. Maybe Mike DiCarlo becomes the new inker at this point. Well,
maybe. I couldn't. Yeah. I don't know.
Again, that's what I said. The inker is one of those thankless jobs. A lot of times you don't realize they're there unless things go bad. If they're doing their job, and it's like, oh yeah, this looks good.
Wait, these characters don't have feet. Who's the inker?
All right. Rhodey holds his first board meeting, then has dinner with Ray. After spending the night together, he wonders how she feels about dating a black man. 1992. Ray has no problem with it. I thought he'd feel more guilt over, that her and Tony were kind of,
Well, how long were they together, though? Do you remember?
Oh, it was a while.
It was a while? Really?
It might have been like right before the first Armor Wars. Oh, well, that's when he meets her. I can't remember how.
Oh.
Plus, I don't know how serious they were. I think they were like dating, but I don't know if they were serious. But
yeah,
I thought you were right. I was waiting for Rhodey to be like, this feels like sleeping with my brother's widow. Like right. My brother's widow.
Yeah.
Oh. Morgan Stark seeks Marcy out and makes her a job offer. Yes, because she was next in line for that CEO position until Tony just like left it as well. Yeah, Rhodey's in charge.
Yep.
And it's Rhodey's ex-girlfriend. So
even more. So, yeah, exactly.
Because wasn't that in 284 last year? Because she was like, "Pick me or the job," and he's like, "You're fired.
You're out of here."
And we're broken up.
Yeah. And another thing.
Exactly. Tony continues to retrace his life's activities while in cryogenic sleep. Atom Smasher attacks a stained nuclear plant, and Rhodey decides to intervene as Iron Man, but cannot reason with him. Calling Iron Man America's best-known corporate leg breaker, Adams... Imagine what he would have thought if this was the period where everyone knew he's Tony Stark.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Atom Smasher implies that he is attacking for the world's benefit before pinning Rhodes under debris. Elsewhere, government men authorize sending in firepower to stop Atom Smasher. Here's some notes. In the flashback sequence, young Tony is seen reading La Morte d'Arthur by Sir Thomas Malory. His fascination with Knights of Iron is seeded at an early age. He met King Arthur in person in Iron Man 150.
Right.
We covered on One World Under Doom.
Indeed.
Here you go, Ray. Under trivia, one of the people in the meeting at the beginning of this issue looks a lot like Lucius Fox from the Batman.
I noticed that. Yeah, there were a few faces amongst that board meeting. I was like, I wonder who that's supposed to be.
I love Batman.
But yeah, it's so funny because at the beginning of this one, Rhodey's basically like, yeah, everything's running smooth. I'm not going to try to come in here and tell you how to do your job. So let's just keep doing what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Which will change by the end of the next one issue?
Yeah. This doesn't last for very long.
No. Yeah, him and Ray have dinner. And then, of course, they sleep together.
Yeah.
We see Atom Smasher break into the plant. I love he gets the phone call and she's like, how bad is it? He goes, remember Chernobyl?
Yeah. Yeah. He immediately flies into action.
Yes.
Once it's determined what's going on.
Oh, hello, Noel. Sup, babies?
Noel.
Babes.
We're talking some Iron Man tonight.
Bubs. That's right. Continue from last year.
Classic Iron Man. I love this villain, Atom Smasher. He's great. And I looked him up, and yeah, this is his only appearance this story. There's a brief flashback of him in War Machine number 1.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. Like, this is the only story involving him.
Yeah, like they should bring him back for another Iron Man story, or like, I was thinking, who else could he fight? The Hulk, maybe, or something?
The Hulk, totally.
Mm-hmm.
Put him in the Thunderbolts or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I love this line. He goes, I want to show people that the parasites you represent can be defied, that they don't have to march blindly to oblivion in a toxic, barren future. Love it. This guy's great.
Oh, wait a minute. Look, I said corporate leg breaker and Noel Tate appears.
Iron Man, the corporate leg breaker himself.
Yes, Noel, there is a Atom Smasher at DC, so.
There is.
Yes,
but
there is
he is a member
Atom
of
Smasher,
the Justice Society.
Yes. I was going to say, is he still? But I know he was for a while. Yeah. Yeah, because wasn't he like, was he like, not a grandson, but wasn't he like related to the Atom of the Golden Age Atom, I think, or something?
He was related. I think he was his uncle, or
yeah, it was something like that. It was something, or
maybe it was his dad.
Or like a grand. I don't think it was a direct line. It was like a grand?
Maybe it's a grand
or something.
Or something. Yeah, but there was some relation there. Yeah. Or it might have been one of the villains, actually, Cyclotron, that he was related to.
I can't remember, but yes, you are correct. There's an Atom Smasher at DC,
and his thing was he could grow in size. It was like Giant Man.
Yeah. This guy here is just like blasting nuclear energy.
This guy's just radioactive. It's like a walking nuclear plant.
I wonder if that's a part of the reason they didn't bring this guy back, because he shared a name with a DC character.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, and it was shortly after this that the DC Atom Smasher came to prominence.
I mean, because God forbid, the comic book characters have never changed their
I know.
name. No.
And there were a couple of other Atom Smashers in Marvel. There was one that, again, was only in one story with the Black Goliath in the 70s.
Oh.
Atom Smasher, another villain. Yeah.
No, aren't they all radioactive? Well, to a certain degree, varying degrees.
Right. Yeah, but this guy is cool because he wants to eradicate all of the nuclear plants so that they don't basically make us into a polluted hellscape in the future. So he has actually some decent motives. He's not just a, psychopathic villain that's just concerned with ruling the world or subjecting people to himself.
Especially the stain plant where they're up to some naughty stuff.
Right. As we'll discover in the next issue, there's a reason that this dude has such a significant spite against this place.
There's something in the cellar, and kids, it ain't wine.
Yep. Indeed.
I love that. Oh, I love when after the meeting, the board members basically telling Rhodey, we've done all we can. He's wrong, and he opens the thing where the armor's at, and we just get that page of him shooting up and then rocketing out of the roof.
So great, yeah. I feel like with Kevin Hopgood at the pencils, they should have a page like that in every Iron Man issue.
Oh yeah,
always so good.
Oh, and then in that flashback, we see Tony's dad sent him off to boarding school.
Yeah, boarding school where he learns about King Arthur and all that stuff and becomes infatuated with the whole idea of knights in armor and things like that, which obviously has a deeper symbolism for the man he would become. Yeah.
Oh, God, no. Everyone at Marvel's balls fell off in the 60s. Glowing nuts. Oh. Well, when they become radioactive and about to fall off, no, you need someone to hold them for you.
He's cradling my nuts. Is your whole week? Nom nom nom.
All right, one more ball joke.
Look at our wrecking ball testicle.
Cranky Hulk.
That was from an Energon Universe episode.
I think that's a Constructicon joke there.
Yeah.
Then Rhodey gets to the plant and gets attacked by Atom Smasher. It's just blasting him.
Yeah, he takes him out. I forgot about that. That's the cliffhanger of this. I was like, wow, he blasted him practically into oblivion.
Basically brings the roof down on him, and then and then the penultimate page. Let's take a drink.
Oh, penultimate.
Get that splash page. Yeah,
it's time to die. That's a great full page spread there of Atom Smasher.
Yeah,
so good.
Like we said, the last page, the government decides to send in Firepower.
Firepower, who we haven't seen in a while.
Well, has he showed his face since the original Armor Wars?
I don't think so. I think
no,
this was the only other time we saw him after that.
It might have been like 231 or something. So it's probably been a good at least
while,
4 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Got a new paint job. He's all orange now.
I do, like I said, I do say that all the time. I do like when writers will, bring back stuff from previous runs that maybe someone else was writing. Yeah.
And especially when it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense that the government would send in Firepower for this situation.
Mm-hmm. All right. Are we ready for the next one?
Yeah, this is the big one, the big foil cover.
Foil cover, yeah. I almost dug this out just to look at it, man. I love this cover.
Yeah, I got mine out. Yeah, mine's in pretty rough shape. The corners are all scuffed and bent and everything.
I'll have to look. At one point, I had 2 copies of 290 because I think, or was it 300? One of those two. Because someone had bought me one as a gift. And I was like, oh, thanks. I already have one.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, they did a foil version of that and a normal one, I think.
Oh, yeah. I think I have both.
Nice.
Well, if I have both still, unless I sold it or something. Yeah, I think there was both foils.
Oh, very cool.
But yeah, there's 288.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Some of the foil ones don't come, they don't scan well on the app. But yeah, that one still looks good.
That one looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, it's Iron Man 288 from January 1993, Ground Zero. Get same team still, like, including Mike DiCarlo. So yeah, this must be his. He must have started a regular run. All right, we got another one of our favorite synopsis here. So strap in. The government intervenes with firepower to stop Atom Smasher from destroying a toxic waste dump. There's your synopsis, kids.
Oh, nice. All right.
So there was a synopsis.
Just a truncated one.
Exactly.
And this is a 48-page issue. Yeah, because
Yes.
it's the 30th anniversary of Iron Man.
Oh, yes, it's in the note. This issue was sold with a foil cover with reflective metallic type and insets.
Yeah, even the little face up in the corner box was foil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, so yes, as the synopsis says, yes, the government drops the firepower out of the plane here, and I love the minute before he's about to land. Yeah, the government kind of shuts down all the reporters and everything, and get a splash of firepower coming in.
Firepower just hates waiting.
Yeah, because he asked the soldiers, update me. They're like, Iron Man went in 47 minutes ago. About 12 minutes later, there was an explosion, which seemed to have caused 3/4 of the East Wing. So he brought down 3/4 of the East Wing on Rhodey.
Yeah.
Neither Iron Man nor your target has been heard of since. I love firepower. Menace will teach Stark Enterprises, leave this type of job to the professionals.
Oh, really? Famous last words. Okay.
The United States government.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll see how well this is going to go in a second.
But then Atom Smasher is like kind of blasting his way out because he said something. I thought I'd never get free of the rubble, so he brought it down on himself too.
Right. Well, in that last page, I mean, he just let loose with that blast. Yeah.
He says the building's infrastructure was a disaster waiting to happen. Typical billions for war, billions more to line their pockets, but nothing for safety when it comes to dangerous technologies and that's when firepower comes in.
Yeah. Well, it was a Stain International building for one thing. So they probably cut corners when they were building that place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the little secret in the basement. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, firepower basically tells them to surrender because, as an agent of the United States government, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and Atom Smasher says, as a representative of the people of the country conspired against by your corrupt superiors and the death merchants who own them, I'm going to enjoy reducing you to ash.
So did we ever get the real name of Atom Smasher? Because I'm starting to think it's Noel Tate.
It's Kevin Leonardo.
Oh.
Kevin Leonardo, according to the Marvel Wiki.
Okay. Because, I don't know. I was trying to remember if he's actually, when he goes over his origin, if he told Rhodey his name or anything. But here's the superior Stark tech. I mean, again, the building pretty much fell down on Rhodey, but the armor's still at 87% efficiency.
87. That's impressive. Yeah.
But they have to lift a bunch of the debris off himself and get out.
And meanwhile, Atom Smasher and Firepower are engaged in a vicious duel.
But I mean, the good thing about the explosion, Rhodey was sent down to the sub-basement, and he finds all those barrels of radioactive material
leaking like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it says United States government property. The plot thickens, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. So, like you said, Atom Smasher and Firepower going at it until Rhodey comes up behind Atom Smasher with, I guess, his version of the Psyblade.
Yes, the laser.
Yes.
The laser blade, yeah. It gets him on the defensive. It shoots him with his wrist gun. Blows a bunch of holes in his armor.
This is such a product of its time. You want to get on the tube so bad, you should have tried Letterman.
Yeah. Oh, he retired 15 years ago.
Exactly. But yeah, Rhodey's like, he's like, I got to keep him busy. I got to keep him on the defensive. He's like, another blast like he gave me before, I'm done.
Yeah. And he does. He doesn't let up.
Oh yeah, and he cracks open that helmet, and it basically sees just that radioactive glow of a figure. He's like,
yeah, it's like Dr. Phosphorus.
Yeah. So yeah, he basically gives him his whole origin story.
Yeah.
But how he found the leaking containers and everything, and then we threatened to blow the whistle. So then his superiors, of course, had him killed.
Yeah.
They threw him in one of the barrels and then tossed him all overboard into the sea.
But he'd been mutated. Or he says, I don't know if it was the radiation or something genetic, because he might have been a mutant, or he might have had a late mutant power, which was triggered by this radiation.
Yep.
But he says, I came back. I found that I had power, and I knew what I had to do. We're killing the Earth, killing ourselves, and nobody seems to care. People have to be forced to do something.
So yes, he got his powers from radiation kids. Yes, they gave him the Stanley.
That's right.
The all origin.
Keeping in touch with the Marvel legacy, man. It's great.
Excelsior!
30th anniversary special is right.
Oh man, it's over 60 now. Oh god.
I know. Yikes.
And again, Rhodey's even thinking, well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised how stained rain things around here.
Yeah. It's probably even more supervillains that he created without knowing it.
So yeah, Adam Smasher's basically going on. He's like, I got to force people to see what's going on, or they're just going to keep pretending it's not happening. So
yeah.
And Rhodey's thinking to himself, he's right. It's not enough. He's like, someone's going to take a stand and lead the way. He's like, maybe say someone like the CEO of Stark Enterprises.
Mm-hmm. Somebody like that. Yeah.
So he says, how about this? What if Stark Enterprises were to publicly close down all of its nuclear industry holdings, and with press releases exposing the abuses on this site and any others it may now own? And then Adam Smasher's like, why should I trust you? And Rhodey's like, I've seen the underground dump.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Firepower comes in and tells Iron Man to stand clear. He has an official mandate to sanction this terrorist, which he tries to do.
Yep. Tries is the operative term here.
Rhodey, if I wasn't already convinced this guy was right, I am now, he says.
Yeah.
And he activates his own EMP that takes him and Firepower's armor both out.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam Smasher's like, you deliberately left yourself helpless to protect me? And he's like, nobody gets greased on Stark property if I can help it. Mm-hmm. He's like, look, I'm trusting you not to turn me into tater tots. Now you've got to trust me to do the right thing. Your move. But Adam Smasher's like, okay, you got your chance. But he's like, if you let me down, God help us both. And just flies up out of the roof.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the last time we see this guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So Rhodey must have did something right.
Yeah.
I love Rhodey and Firepower just laying there, and Firepower's like, yeah, my system's reboot in 14 minutes. He's like, when I do, I'm going to beat you to and Rhodey goes, that's so. And he sits up and goes, my system's reboot after 6.
6, yeah.
He goes,
and then he comes out with Firepower and he says, who's this piece of junk belong to? Get it out of here before I decide to melt it down for paper clips.
Yeah. And then the guy outside's like, he's like, you realize you're interfering with the United States government operation. And Rhodey goes, maybe you forget this is private property. He says, now, unless you got a warrant, you better haul ash before you pop it for trespassing.
It's so good.
I know.
Oh, man, I love it.
And then, I don't know if they ever pay this off, but Marcy's like planting evidence of, I guess, foul play against Tony Stark or something, or bad business practices in Rhodey's house there.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what ever came with that subplot. I think they do address it. I think it came up real quick, and I think it comes up after Tony returns. So Tony's like, "Yeah, no, this is BS. It's just Marcy working for Morgan. Marcy and Morgan." So yeah, I mean, it's a quick wrap up, but I think they do address it. Yeah, you're right. I think it does. It's Tony realizing it's bullshit. So he's just like, right, exactly. Yeah. Oh well, especially because Morgan says, "Yeah, but this time next week, James Rhodes will be in prison for the murder of Tony Stark." So yeah. So once Tony comes back, it's like, well, I'm obviously not dead. So. Yeah. Yeah.
But then this is the other side of it. We get another board meeting this time. Rhodey's like, this isn't open to debate. We're getting out of the nuclear business. But it's
and the other members of the board are not happy about that.
Yeah, I know. He's
They're not
basically saying
pleased at
24
all.
hours. He's like, do it or I'll hire someone who will.
Yeah.
But then, one of the guys comes in and says, we've been waiting for you to finish. Got a minute. And he says something about people for the last 2 days have been claiming they've seen Tony Stark.
Oh, my.
And Rhodey goes, that wasn't just me. He's like, okay, we better talk. And then it looks like he's setting something up because, again, Tony comes. The guy who looks like Tony's coming to the office. And then it looks like he blasts Miss Arbogast. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, what was going on there?
Because then he walks in the office and Rhodey's like, Tony. He's like, not quite, just in disguise, which has outlived its usefulness. Now the time has come for the living laser to stand revealed.
We haven't seen since Armor Wars 2.
Yeah. Would you
It's
like
been
the
a while.
original recipe or extra crispy?
Yeah. He's not messing around, folks.
That's right. Basically got taken out by Iron Man. He ain't happy.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. So what you think of this one?
I love it. Like I said, I love Adam Smasher. I thought he was a great character.
Mhm.
It's kind of tragic that we never see him again. It's foolish. It's foolish that they never revisited that character. But I loved everything else. I loved the resolution was nice. How we saw, Rhodey doing the right thing. He didn't just, stomp Adam Smasher and leave. He actually took care of the mess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I forgot. We also get a backup in this one too. Yeah. Cause
And Barry Kitson does the artwork.
yes.
Yeah. I'd forgotten about that. When I saw that, I was like, oh, wow, Barry Kitson. Awesome.
Because all these doctors and scientists are basically rebuilding Tony's nervous. They're going to give him like an artificial nervous system and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then we just see him basically after those parents die. He just basically everything comes so easy to him in life and stuff. And so he starts taking up dangerous habits or hobbies, and then takes over the company. And then the trip to overseas that changed his life.
One of many.
That 2-page splash by Barry Kitson, that should be a poster.
Oh, yeah, that's a gem. Absolutely. That is a gem. I'd forgotten that he did this. Yeah. I knew there was a backup here, but I'd forgotten that he did the artwork.
And then basically gets to the end of his memory. He's like, wait a minute. He's like, is this just the end of my memories or the end period? But I guess he comes up to at least a level of consciousness somewhere where he's basically somewhat aware that what they're doing. So he basically takes over because they're like loading that nervous system, and actually shoots him a message. Sure, they yanked the job out of your hands, but I always did like the idea of being a self-made man. Good work, people.
these words being typed on the screen. Just
So
random.
he's basically he's basically coding his own nervous system.
Yeah. Well, that does track. Does sound like Tony.
God, can you imagine like if they would have, I'm sure we would have been reversed at some point, but if he would have like been able to like rewrite his whole code where it's based like, yeah, I'm kind of closer to Captain America now than a normal human, but yeah.
Right. Well, this is before all the extremist stuff. All that stuff that happened. Yeah.
That's why when I first read it, I thought that was going to be an early version of that. Just like,
yeah, this is great. I'm glad that they had this, that they used this 48-page thing to have these two stories. You've got the one story with Jim, and you've got the second story with Tony, but they're both really good.
Yeah, it wasn't just like a filler backup.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
All right. Ready for the last one?
Yes, the conclusion to the Living Laser story.
Oh, I forgot about this too. I'm looking at the notes. Yeah, there was an alternate reality story take on this issue from What If 63.
Oh, really?
Came out in 1994.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, we should cover that one sometime.
Yeah, if I had remembered it, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, see?
Oh, interesting. Okay. Very cool.
I'm trying to
We'll add that to our War Machine coverage.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so
we have a different penciler here.
Yes, yeah. All right, let's get the cover up. Yeah.
There we go.
All right, Iron Man 289, February 1993, The Light at the End. Len Kaminsky writer, Tom Morgan penciler, inker Brad Van Cotta, colorist Arian Lenchok, colorist letterer Chris Iliopoulos, editor Nelson Yomtov. Rhodes bluffs his way out of a confrontation with the Living Laser by informing him that Stark is dead and that he fired Iron Man. He offers Living Laser a job and grants him a tour of the facility. However, he secretly has his men coat the Iron Man armor with a reflective coating to dispel the Living Laser's attacks. Iron Man battles Living Laser, drawing him into a laser focusing chamber and scatters his form across the Andromeda galaxy. Rhodes is troubled by his actions and seeks comfort from Ray. Morgan Stark contacts his employers at Moroboshi, who no longer believe he can manage their operation. Sondheim and Zimmer invite Rhodes to see Tony in a recovery room. At the sight of Tony's living body, Rhodes flies into a rage and announces he's quitting.
Mm-hmm. That escalated quickly.
Well, yeah, it's like, hey, you let your best friend think you were dead and thought he was scattering your ashes and
and he was trying to salvage your company and take over your legacy
and two, I think
even put on the Iron Man suit a bunch of times.
Because he had issues putting on the Iron Man armor again, I think. And
for obvious reasons. I mean, he basically had PTSD after that whole incident in the upper atmosphere where he was burning up in that suit. He didn't want to put that armor back on ever again.
Nope.
So for him to even do that once was a big deal.
Yeah, because it's if Tony had been honest with him, it's hey, you have to at least pretend I'm dead for a couple weeks or months, just to see if this treatment works.
Mm-hmm.
Mitt Brody might have been I ain't putting the armor on just for a couple weeks, or.
Yeah.
Tony.
Yeah, good old Tony. He could, as we'll see in 300, there's a bunch of other people that he could have asked besides.
Oh, yeah.
Jim. He didn't have to push Jim to do this.
That's so funny because he remote pilots that armor until 300. I love 300
Right.
when Rhodey sees him showing up and he's like, "Oh God, just that cocky swagger." He's like, "Yeah, that's Stark. That ain't no remote armor." That's
yeah. I know that's him in that suit now.
Yeah. So Living Laser comes into Jim's office, basically threatening him, and he's basically "Where's Stark? Where's Iron Man?" He's like, Stark's dead, and I fired Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
I love how he says, Tony's dead. He's like, Living Laser's like, it can't be, and yet it would explain the strange looks I got from people while disguised as Stark.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I love the art of Tom Morgan a lot.
Yeah,
and he actually became the regular penciler. I think with issue 300. I think that for a year
around there.
He was the regular penciler, and I love his stuff. I think he's a great choice for Iron Man. He always makes the suit look really good. And it's difficult, this iteration of the Living Laser,
basically just energy,
just energy. It's difficult to make him look good, that John Romita Jr. remodel that they did of the Living Laser. It's very distinctive. It's tough to get that to look right unless you're John Romita Jr. You know what I mean? It's so distinctive. But I think Tom Morgan does a good job.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. He does make this Living Laser look good. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he did a really good job with that. And I was kind of surprised about the first time I read this, that Rhodey kind of offered him a job and was walking him around the facility. At first I thought, well, wait a minute, is he actually going to give him a job? Is this for real? Or is he just kind of, trying to stall him a little bit so that he can do something? But I thought, well, what if he actually gave him a job working at Stark and and he joined the payroll and they found some way to fix some of his issues, that he's having.
I don't know if you could trust him though, because after Rhodey offers him the job, Living Laser's like, I'll take it. Then you see him thinking, after all, I can always destroy them all later.
That's right. Yeah.
But I just love
he was having legitimate doubts. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I love when Jim's like, wouldn't you rather make money and work in a nice lab than fight the Avengers every 2 weeks?
It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, he'd have access to all of that state-of-the-art technology. To my knowledge, before he was a supervillain, he was a scientist.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd be in his element. He'd probably have his own dedicated laboratory. But it wasn't meant to be, apparently.
But yeah,
I like the fact that they took the time to address that after the fact, though.
yeah,
After what Rhodey did to him, basically scattering his atoms across another galaxy.
yeah, basically shoots him into space. Yeah,
Yeah, like it's got to weigh heavily on your conscience, no matter who you are. Even if you are a superhero, like you've got to still process some of those feelings. And I'm glad that they took the time, that one page, or 2 pages or whatever it was, where he actually processed that and talked about it.
yeah, and I think that was this straw that broke the camel's back with him and Tony when he saw Tony alive. He's like, you know what? I just killed a man. He's like,
Yeah. Did you realize what I just had to do? Like, yeah.
Maybe that's another reason, F you for making me put this armor on again.
Right. Yeah. Look at what I just had to do, basically, in your name, in the name of Iron Man, in the name of Tony Stark's legacy, protecting your building and your people. Like, it's crazy.
And you're down here sleeping.
Yeah. Sleeping it off.
I do like when Jim gets the call that the armor is ready, and they open it up, and he starts putting on the armor, and that technician or whatever is like, "Hey, don't you want to get the real Iron Man to do that?" And Reddy's like, "Just my luck. Gave him the day off."
Yeah. Yeah. Go figure.
Oh yeah, I love like the effect when living laser blasts him and get all the like that effect. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so cool. It's like a prismatic effect. Yeah, the colors are really great in this issue too, I've got to say.
Oh yeah,
they did a really good job with that.
Oh, but yeah, Laser's just like all mad because Rhodey's making fun of him. He's like, "I'll rip your head off, tear out your heart, eat it whole." And Rhodey, really? Tell me, brave boy, you want fries with that?
You want fries with that?
Tackles him out of the. So yeah, they're going back and forth, and I warned you not to mock me if they're being made a fool of. Rhodey, you got a problem with that? You got to have a talk with Yo Mama.
Yo Mama.
90s.
Love it.
Yeah, so basically just battles him down the chamber where
he turns him into the
basically a laser chamber.
Signal.
Yeah, he's basically getting shot at, hit with all these lasers and
bombarded with all this energy.
Breaks up his cohesion and just shoots him into space.
Yeah. And that's it.
Yep.
Although, of course, listeners, we do see the living laser again.
Comic book character doesn't state it.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's like, characters like that, or even like characters like Hydra Man or Sandman, it's hard to like kill them.
Right.
Like you could scatter their atoms, but eventually they reform. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a different form of. Yeah, it's an entirely different form of matter, I guess you could say. It's like it's like a pure energy, kind of like if with Monica Rambeau when she turns into her light form, like she's a different form of matter. Yeah. So
I mean, I get the point, but maybe Rhodey didn't realize, but he should have been like, well, he's probably not dead, but he's not in any. I don't know if he has any coherent thoughts, but right now,
right?
He's alive, sort of.
Sort of, yeah. Emphasis on sort of.
Mm-hmm. But after talking to Ray that night, then the next morning, he has that message. Oh, here, come down to the lab.
We've got something to show you. It's easier if we show you. Yeah, that's an understatement of the century.
That's Dr. Sondheim. She's like, I'm sorry, we had to do it this way. It wasn't our idea. He's like, look, I'm a big boy. Just spit it out already. So they walk him down, and then he sees Tony laying there.
Tony.
Hi, Jim. What's new?
Hi, Jim.
Just crushes his coffee in that paper cup. He's like,
I quit! Like, immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what'd you think was going to happen, Tony?
So why do we get 48 pages in 288? Because it says 290's the double-sized 30th anniversary extravaganza.
I was wondering that, too. They did, like, 2 back-to-back almost.
Yeah, I don't, unless they needed, because for some reason, they knew where they're going from there to 300, so they're just like, well, we guess we got to make 288 extra large issue or something. I don't know.
I couldn't figure that out either. Yeah. I remember being irritated at the time because
they cost more.
Well, back in the day, like I only got like $5 a week for allowance, so I could only afford to get like when they did these foil covers or whatever, I could only get like 2 or 3 comic books a week.
Mm-hmm. Because again, in these few like 2 or 3 years here, you're getting multiple Iron Man foil covers, you're getting Avengers foil covers. You got
Spider-Man that same year they did 4 different hologram covers for the Spider-Man ones, which I think were the best. Like I loved those, all of those hologram Spider-Mans. I think were the best gimmick covers that they ever did. But that whole year, 93 was just the year of the gimmick covers.
I mean, that was the variant covers of the day. They were just, it's like, hey, let's slap some foil or slap a hologram on it.
Yeah, emboss it. Yeah.
I don't get variant covers.
But yeah, thank you for picking these. Iron Man.
Happy birthday, Phil. Yeah.
So yeah, kids, that's
we'll pick up on these next year probably.
Same time this time next year. 290. Yes.
Right.
All right. So get the schedule here. I think I know what's coming next. I just want to make sure I get it right. If it ever opens. All right. Yes. Yep. I was right. Yes. And next time, more Justin picks. Next time we're going to cover Thor 395 through 400. So again,
War of the Gods.
Divisible
by epic story. Yeah.
Divisible by 100. It's going to be big, kids. And then, again, to celebrate our love of Mark Gruenwald and the upcoming Thunderbolts movie, we're going to do U.S. Agent, the 4-issue miniseries from 1993.
Which I haven't read, so I'm doubly excited about that one. That's going to be new to me.
Learn the whole. You're gonna learn some things like the entire mystery of where did the idea of Scourge come from?
The Scourge of the Underworld.
Again, Mark Gruenwald. So it's gonna be good.
Yep.
And a certain female character from Gruenwald's run is gonna pop up again here. No, it's not Diamondback.
Yeah.
All right. That'll. Wait a minute. That's the month already. Yeah,
I think that's the whole month.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's right. Because 3 Marvel Tales and 2 X-Men. Yep, that's right. And again, I haven't nailed it down yet, kids, but you will be getting 2 episodes of Thunderbolts after that for the movie. So
yes, the month after is Thunderbolts month.
Yeah, well, 2 episodes
right.
Because we got stuff to do.
That's true. We have some big stuff coming up this summer, folks.
Yeah, because after the 2 Thunderbolts, that's when we're going to start the first Secret Wars.
That's right.
And then after the first one, we'll get to the second Secret Wars, including all the tie-ins.
Yep. We're going to spend pretty much the whole summer with Secret Wars.
We'll get
and Korvac.
Oh yeah, Korvac. Yeah. Secret War. Well, the last episode of Secret Wars will be like in the middle of July. So
nice.
Yep.
And I think right after that we go into Korvac Quest.
Except we'll have 2 Fantastic Four episodes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have so many good things coming up.
Yes. Both Secret Wars, Korvac. Lots of good stuff. Again, Inferno coming this October.
Inferno. And
Cross Time Caper
for Excalibur. In time for my birthday month.
And towards the end of the year, we're going to be doing the Muir Island Saga. On X-Men Classics, but
yeah.
And at the end of the year, at least 3 Defenders episodes.
Right.
Get back to some Defenders. So
that'll be fun.
Oh yeah. All right, kids. So lots of big stuff coming again. Marvel Tales and X-Men Classics. So
that's right.
So send us your thoughts. All right. So, yes, send us your thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find pretty much every episode of anything we've done at CapesLunatics.wordpress.com. Help support everything we do by buying merch at TeePublic or Spring. And most of all, greedier than any corporation, Lilith Hellfire demands that you just give us money through the Cash App link. Again, that's right. Don't feed those corporate fat cats. Feed Lilith Hellfire and feed her money.
Gimme.
Hey, it's my birthday. Hey, send me money. All right. And of course, the Patreon, where again you get exclusive, uncensored content every month. And if you are a patron, like our friend Justin here, you can request topics for us to discuss. Doesn't have to be comics, can be anything. But yeah, so I think we were like, wait, what are we doing in March? What are we doing in April? But we got stuff to do. So
nice.
I think. All right, so no, it could be the last second, kids, but we always come up with something. So yeah, so subscribe right now, patreon.com/CapesandLunatics.
More vicious and brutal than ever.
All right. Now for this very busy Al here, you can catch him at least once a week here on Marvel Tales or X-Men Classics. There might be an occasion where there's both. You can catch him once a month on One World Under Doom, the Doctor Doom podcast, Energon Universe, where we talk all the new Transformers and G.I. Joe content from Image. You can catch him as the new monthly co-host with me and Ray on the last episode, the last Ultimate Spider cast of every month, where we talk Scarlet Spider, and we'll be doing some slingers here.
That's right. I'm excited about that. Slingers, yeah.
Can't wait for that. And of course, you can catch him over on Capes and Lunatic Sidekicks at least once a month on Way of the Night,
the Batman podcast.
Talking Azrael, and he'll join us for from time to time for other things. Like in May, we'll be talking some more Catwoman. So I know you're down for some of that.
Yes. Meow May.
Meow May. And of course, you can always catch him every so often on Electric Mullet, the Superman podcast.
That's right.
Talking all the 90s Superman in order. And I was gonna say, I always feel you have so many things. I'm like, did I forget something?
There's got to be at least one more on the list.
But yes, and again, sometimes he guest stars in other places, but he doesn't just podcast here, kids. So
that's right.
Justin, tell them about these shows.
These shows every month with Gamma Charge with Russell. We talk about the Immortal Hulk series or the sensational She-Hulk series. And we also have a Patreon, so do check that out. Over on Predator and Prey, we're joined by the aforementioned High Priest of Khonshu Ray and our co-host on the Spider-Cast. And he joins me and Sparky to talk about some classic Dark Horse comic books featuring Fox's Predator. And we're also very excited about the new movie coming out at the end of the year, Predator Badlands.
Nice.
And last but not least, my solo show is called The Lost Library of Legends, and I'm doing a multiple-part retrospective currently on the Malibu Ultraverse title called The Strangers.
We're going back to the 90s here, bitch.
Courtesy of Steve Englehart.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, some good stuff there.
I'm going to eat this up with a fork and spoon.
That's right, kids. People sitting on their hands.
Oh, that's naughty.
Yeah.
I love it. One way to Biscuit Town.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Again, come back next time for Thor.
Yes. An epic story awaits.
Yes. Then followed by the U.S. Agent miniseries.
Yep.
Yes.
Send in your thoughts.
And then, yes, by next episode, I should be able to tell you specifically which Thunderbolts.
Nice.
Unless you want to write in and request some.
Yes.
All right, kids, come back next time. Keep your cool.